Hey everybody, this is Jeff Wilson coming at you with video 3 of our Heart Rockets male series on just leveling up as a man, nutritionally, motivationally, all the things. And in today's video, we are going to talk about why you're not losing weight even when you're trying. So this video is for a lot of different types of people in different situations. This could maybe be something that you might deal with in the future. It could also simply be just a few stubborn pounds. You might have kind of always hovered around where you're not exactly where you want to be, whether it's a few months or a few years. I'd say most people that are like decently regular with working out, and I always speak for a lot of Americans, like our diets are usually not great, and just living a normal life, especially if you have kids or a very, very busy job, and or in just a highly stressed position, which I'll get a little bit to stress later. Oftentimes there's like at least some kind of belly fat, especially in men, whether it's the actual like beer gut or it's just simply there's just kind of a lot of stubborn pounds. Or you might be somebody who's literally like, I need to lose 50 pounds. And you may be at the beginning of that. You might be 6 months in. Just take the timeline with a grain of salt. But either way, the main purpose of this video is to talk about a lot of the things that are basically hanging you up and not allowing you to move forward in your weight loss, and just especially, and even other things like energy and like motivation, which I lied last video. If you saw video number 2, I said this would be the motivation video, and that is going to be video number 4. But anyway, I digress. So think about if you're in the situation, if this resonates with you, if you're tracking your food, you're working out, let's say even 2-3 days a week. Some people I've experienced, they're like walking almost every day, and they're working out 2 or 3 days a week. They're going to multiple CrossFit classes. They're going to multiple fitness classes, boot camp style stuff, and they just don't really ever lose weight. I honestly see this all the time. And so we're going to go through a lot of the hang-ups and stuff that people go through. And some of them are just simple as like stress and sleep, hidden calories, the weekend sabotage, like having good momentum Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, and then just kind of like doing the cheat meal thing, but it kind of lasts too long. There's many simple things that can be done. And so it's going to seem like obvious when I say a lot of these things to most of you, but just take it with a grain of salt and try to pick those few things. Maybe it's 1 or 2, maybe it's literally just 1, especially if you're only working with just a few pounds that you need to lose, and you just kind of been stuck there for a while. It may not take a huge change. It might just be one area, like getting your sleep in order. I mean, going from 6 hours a night to 8 or 7.5 can honestly oftentimes be the reason why somebody eventually gets to the weight loss goal that they wanted, or even definitely something with like energy. And I also want you to, I'm going to encourage you not to think of this as just like this, like 2 + 2 = 4. A lot of this stuff takes time. It's not most likely, if you need 10 more pounds and you fix your sleep, it's probably not going to get fixed in 4 weeks or 6 weeks. That's the like leak in the boat that you need to fix in order to keep rowing. So you may still not get to the island, or whatever metaphor you want to use there, but now you can get there in a more efficient way. And so I want to encourage you to think about that as I'm talking through some of these points. But first, we're going to talk about hidden calories. This is easily, I would argue, the main reason why people don't lose weight in general. As much as stress and sleep, which I'll get to in point 2, the sabotaging, and of course not enough movement in people's days, or just your day-to-day, that you could argue. So 1 and 4, point 1 and 4, you could probably argue very similarly, but hidden calories are usually people's crux. I've worked with a lot of people that are like anal about tracking their calories, and I think that can be a good barometer, which maybe I'll be assisting some of you in the future with this, and kind of looking through your macronutrients and counting calories and making it, I mean, we need to make that relative to your lifestyle and what's going on. How much activity are you doing? How much sleep are you getting? This, that, and the other. But with that said, we're just going to talk about some of the main hangups within hidden calories. So liquid calories, I know in America, this is one of the biggest ones. Everybody gets their Starbucks coffee, you have your lattes with a lot of added milk. This is some of these things, disclaimer, you're going to be like, well, yeah, dude, these are easy things. But what I want you to do is, as I'm talking, list some of the things, even if it's one thing. Just list, hey, this might be a hang up. here's one of the habits I have all the time. Like if you like first thing you do is wake up and have a coffee, you're not giving yourself any time to actually, one, have a glass of water, and two, just even wake up before going right into your day. And I understand some of you have very busy and stressful lives, but at the end of the day, that's up to you to change it. And sometimes you have some things out of control, but we need to be men here and face the mirror and go, okay, what do we need to do to change? So the hidden calories in anything from, oh gosh, alcoholic drinks. I mean, just think of anything from, your just mixed drinks region to a lot of beer. I love beer. I love my local brews here in Colorado. There's some mixed drinks I like, good old fashioned kind of thing. I don't really have to worry about gaining a lot of weight though, at least at this point in my life. I'm 38, never really had problems outside of a couple small stints. And so you got to kind of look at your situation a little bit while you're thinking of these things. But most people don't have a good governor barometer to like stop eating, especially when you're in social environments. So like taking even just smaller portions can literally just be that simple change. And it doesn't mean like you're depriving yourself of calories and food and energy, but you may literally just need to like take it back a bit, and take back the alcoholic drinks for a bit, maybe have less beer for a little while, maybe just have like a straight up drink on the rocks. If you're somebody that likes to go out and socialize like that, you may want to change up how you're doing it. Watch out for juices, sodas, stuff that seems very obvious, but people kind of go, oh, well, it's only one drink or two drinks. It's like, well, if you're trying to lose weight, you kind of need to buck up a little bit and kind of start focusing on some of the things that are holding you up. So I'll leave the hidden calories for that because I can go much deeper in another video. Stress and sleep. Cortisol levels wreak havoc on people's weight loss, as well as their mental health, and then it kind of cycles and spirals over the course of several months to years. I'm somebody that has a lot of trouble with sleeping. Last 6 weeks, last night was the first good night of sleep I had in 6 weeks. Had some stressful stuff recently in my life, and I also had a bladder infection, which just kind of I was waking up every hour for a while. So that's very specific, but either way, I've had periods where high cortisol was just basically I was in fight or flight mode, if you've ever heard of that. And there was just cortisol just wreaking havoc on my brain and my hormonal system. And as guys, we don't really talk about hormonal systems very much, but this can wreak havoc. And on a side note, depending on where you're at, if you've had a lot of trouble losing weight and you're working very hard, you may want to go a little bit deeper into like a holistic specialist to see if there's more hormonal issues going on that'll hold you up, or just even kind of like deeper rooted issues, which that's definitely out of the scope of this video. But high cortisol can mess with water retention, cravings, like you may just crave more food. And there's really not this major solution other than just to sleep more and like dig a little deeper and try to figure out why this is happening. This would definitely take a little bit further, like you need to go to a doctor type thing. But if you're always like anxious and you're 5.5, 6.5 hour sleep person, you're going to have messed up cortisol levels. And this will just kind of mess up your hunger hormones as well as just your cognition. You won't be as cognitively aware at work and just not thinking as clearly. So simply putting sleep, honestly, it's probably one of the most important things you can do just for your general health and life. And it's an easy thing that people just kind of like throw on the back burner. So I'm going to encourage you to point at that one a little bit. Weekend sabotage. This one's simple. I'm going to go quick with this one because I don't want to like take too long. Honestly, at the end of the day, yes, cheat meals are okay here and there, but if you're like in the middle of losing weight, there's kind of like a pretty good give and take in how much you're doing. And a lot of times people take a cheat meal into a cheat day to a cheat weekend. And honestly, just even a couple of high calorie meals, as much as I love my burger and fries and my favorite food's pizza, like if I was in a weight loss place, like I wouldn't eat pizza for like 3 to 6 months, maybe once or something like that, have a slice. And you may not like to hear that. That might trigger you a little bit, but if you want to lose weight, you want to look better and want to get maybe a 6-pack or just be basically very lean, you're going to need to figure this one out. The last one, not enough movement. I mentioned point four earlier. You might be working out 2, 3, even 4 days a week, but you got to look at how you're working out, what type of lifting you're doing, which maybe I'll get to work with you guys on this in the future. But sometimes, like most people don't have a plan. I mentioned that in video 1, I think a little bit in video 2. And when you think about it from that perspective, when you're not working out, or when you are working out 2 or 3 days a week, at the very bare minimum, maybe you're doing 4 or 5, you might just still not be moving a lot. You may, if you've heard the cardio doesn't equal fat loss. Well, I'm a runner. I've never been fat my entire life. So, I understand where people are coming. Weightlifting is the most important thing you can do from an exercise perspective. But for some people, you just need to walk more while you're also doing those things. And cardio is not the enemy. You just don't want to be that guy running on the treadmill over and over again, think he's going to lose weight when you have to do a lot of other things to actually spark the metabolism to get to the point where you need to. And so it's a big mix of different exercises. And I'll go that into deeper detail in another video. But at the end of the day, you got to be walking regularly, and you got to be burning calories. You got to be moving. I mean, get a standing at work, get a little standing treadmill. But anyway, I'll go into more detail in another video. I'm going to end there. Thanks for watching. And next video, we'll talk about motivation and why that is not the key. Thank you.